Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. In this one, I'm really excited once again to be bringing you the second of two show matches between mixed teams of content creators, including myself, and the Eugen Systems employees. This was played as a show match as part of Protoss's great event this weekend supporting Action Against Hunger. So if you'd like to donate to that, since the donation is still open, make sure to check out the link in the description or in the comments and just give any spare cash you have. It'd be greatly appreciated, and see if we can smash that target out of the park. It would be absolutely awesome to see how much money the Battleground 2 and WARNO community can make. Also, I just want to say a massive thank you to the Eugen employees for spending time out of their day to play with us and set up the preview build with the new map on it. In this case, we're not playing on the new map in this one, but yeah, seeing Triple Strike was really cool. Also, of course, big thanks to Bandana, Yogdog, Al Bowser, Protoss for streaming, and anyone else I missed. All of the content creators helping promote this awesome event for a great cause. Massive thanks. Really awesome to see the community come together, and yeah, it's always a great thing. But without further ado, let's talk about the game. So this time around we have switched sides. The Protoss's team, I guess we can call it, is going to be on the NATO side. Protoss going to be using the 2nd Panzerdivision. Rick's going to be using the 5th Panzerdivision. Storsk is going to be using the 3rd Armoured. And Yogdog's going to be using the 8th Infantry. In case you guys missed the last game, Rick and Storsk are both Eugen employees. Protoss and Yogdog, I'm sure. Well, hopefully you guys know who they are. If you don't, make sure to go search them on YouTube or check out their Twitch channels. They are great content creators. On my side, I am going to be playing with the 7th Panzerdivision. We have Bandana, who is going to be using the 4th Modschützen. We've got Ned on the 79th and Magellan on the 39th Guards. So, Bandana, another YouTuber you should definitely go check out. Ned and Magellan are both Eugen employees on our team. So, yeah, awesome stuff. And if you'd like to check out the live reactions or the live game in general, Yogdog, Protoss, and Bandana all streamed it live, so you can check out the VODs on their channels. I'll leave links to those in the description. But let's have a quick look at what's happening here. So you can see I basically chose the right hand side to start off with. I had a cheeky little strategy that I wanted to see if I could pull off, and that was to use obviously plenty of recon infantry. You can see these Spezialzaufkleider here coming in with these MI2s. We're going to try and stop the units at Kilo from getting over to Alpha early on, and I've also got plenty of Aufkleider and more Spezialzaufkleider in the trucks going to be heading that way. But back here I have a Pionierführer in a UAZ and a Spezialzaufkleider in an MI2. I probably could set this up so that I have a leader in a helicopter anyway, but in this case I didn't. So I thought what I'd do is I'd just unload the Spezialzaufkleider, put the Pionierführer into the MI2, and then fly the Pionierführer over to this sector and counter-capture it early on. And with any luck, I could capture it myself entirely and use this reinforcing road to get units into their backline to be really annoying. So yeah, we could basically bring in reinforcements here, set up in this tree line, and stop their reinforcements that were coming from there from capping it back. That was kind of my plan. So off we go, and you can see that I've unloaded both of them, and I'm going to be ordering them to get into their respective places, and the MI2 is going to be setting off behind the other MI2s, and then the UAZ in the meantime can zoom up the road. I've also brought in 2 Strela 10Ms and the Shilka early on. They're going to be zooming across here as soon as possible because our biggest threat at the start is aircraft and also helicopters, because they are both like really fast response to this kind of play. You know, all of this recon infantry is very vulnerable to a bombing strike, or very vulnerable to like an Apache or something. Storsk, he does have the Kiowa. He is seeing all of my MI2s fly over here. I'm going to be trying to get them unloaded ASAP. into their positions because Bradley has come down the road. And we've also bumped into these scouts. Fortunately, scouts do not have AT weapons, so they weren't able to really stop my transports from moving up here. The Kiowa trying to shoot my Avklara. And over here, while the Tornado F3 goes for the shot onto the Mi-2, does manage to stun my Mi-2, but in the process, it does unload my Pioneer Fuhrer. There's a little bit of a bug that will get fixed. If that was the case in like a proper game, that tornado I think would have probably just killed my Pioneer Fuhrer in the Mi-2, or at least the Mi-2 would have crashed and my Pioneer Fuhrer would have been, you know, 1 health or something. Regardless, I do manage to get my Pioneer Fuhrer into here early on. My Stella also manages to shoot down a Kiowa, so great stuff. Specials Avklara and Avklara, unfortunately getting caught out by the Alpha Jet with the napalm there. Big kill actually, taking out 2 squads with that napalm strike. But yeah, the Pioneer Fuhrer only countercapping. Sturz did make sure to get his own command into the sector early on, so I wasn't able to bring in reinforcements on this side of the map. So now my objectives kind of changed. I was hoping if I could like cheese the cap early on, then I'd be able to reinforce here. But now I'm thinking to myself, you know, maybe we just do as much damage as we can, and then we can start focusing towards the center of the map once my recon infantry and so on has all run out. So both myself and Bandana have the idea of bringing in these KH-29Ts, or sorry, the Su-22 M4Ks with the KH-29Ts, which are the TV guided missiles. He managed to pick off one of the M1A1HCs, and I'm looking to try and pick off another with my own Su-22M. So looking for the Bradley kill there. So any kill I'll take. There is currently a A10 on the way. Not really much for me to shoot that down. These Strelatinems should have really moved further forwards. But the Su-22 there, going to be able to get a shot towards the A10. ATN surviving for now. Do manage to kill the Bradley though. Currently waiting, however, to get my Specials Avklara to reveal the M1A1HA there. That's the prime target for the Su-22 M4, and you can see that I'm trying to micro it so that I can get the shot on target. And there we go, managed to get the second kill straight into the side armor. Great stuff. So the Stinger turned out to be the only AA here, which was lucky for me. And with this +2, we are starting to build up our points quite nicely. Especially as Avklara having to run away from the M2A1 in the meantime. I'm just trying to get all of these into position the best I can, and I was hoping that maybe I could zoom it all the way over here. The idea of this Specials Avklara was if I could run it down this way, then I could unload here and then move round to the backside of the sector to maybe try and kill the unit that's capping. But what I should have done, in hindsight, is probably use this road. Like, just drove it down to this road, fast move up here, and then unloaded. Rather than going up here, because, as you can see, enemy tanks blowing that squad to pieces. And that's an entire Specials Avklara squad taken down at 75 points, plus the UAZ that was lost. So, not ideal. So yeah, just continuing to kind of mess around with what I've got left here. And then I'm going to be looking to help Bandana in the centre with the Elena Dimitri conundrum. This map is quite interesting because I think it's one of the only maps that has sort of adjacent sectors, which means that the game can swing very heavily one way or the other quite quickly, particularly since they're all like 3-point sectors. So if you can manage to get a command into your opposing sector, then you instantly get like a +3, and it's pretty big. But yeah, the plan right now, just to get my Strellas in here to cover off any of my recon, because they're very vulnerable to these bombing strikes. Tornado was coming in with its cluster munitions. Just about managed to get out of the way of that. Also, it didn't quite go where it was supposed to, but I am being pushed on quite heavily. There's not really much I can do though. It's a lot of heavy armor at range that I'm not able to engage. The Jaegers, however, I can kill, so going for that right now. And that blue circle, that was the whole position command, if anyone's wondering. That I meant to have on nothing so that they would hide behind the building. Unlucky not to shoot down that tornado IDS, in my opinion. But yeah, so just going to be trying to kind of move behind the building here as best I can. You can see I've switched it there to nothing at the bottom. That's just the smart orders. I do turn off their missile, or not the missile, I do turn off their AKs. I keep the RPG on so I can kill any vehicles that get too close. Now this time around, SU-22 of Bandana does come in and get shot down very quickly with the Gepard now reinforcing this right hand side and also the Stinger there. So no chance really for me to even use my aircraft to help save myself against the Leopards and such that have come in here. But I have definitely distracted them a lot. We've killed 2 M1A1s. You know, we shot down a Kiowa already. We've, you know, killed off Jaeger squads and all that kind of stuff. You know, this has done a lot of damage, and this Strela 10M managing to pick off a second Kiowa there, so that was really nice. So far so good. Bandana's holding in the mid. Magellan is actually doing a great job against Protoss there. Hopefully I'm pronouncing Magellan correctly. I keep trying. But Ned on this left hand side trying to hold back Rick. He's kind of mounting for a push here. But you can see my units are slowly but surely getting picked off, so what I decide to do is actually just retreat with the units that I have. So the Strela 10M, just going to be telling that to come back. It's only got 2 missiles left anyway. And I was hoping to get this Strela 10M out of the way as well, and just leave all of my recon infantry here just to be a nuisance. Alpha Jet coming over with napalm there. I guess that's looking for the command potentially, or maybe trying to block the road. Strela kind of missing all of its missiles, so Alpha Jet is going to manage to get away with that. We're now at a +3, since I've managed to counter-cap this sector, so great job there. Now I'm bringing in some reinforcements, these Strela 10Ms on the right hand side, and just to kind of cover off against enemy helicopters, kind of counter-pushing us now that I'm not really focusing on the right hand side anymore. There is no sector here that I need to worry about though, so I'm not too worried about just forgetting about this and going for the center, and that's why I'm going to be bringing in plenty of these BMP-1s and also these TO-55s. So the TO-55s are the flame version of the T-55. They have a 1,060 meter range flamethrower, which is pretty nasty against enemy infantry. So I was hoping that alongside the Motorschützen and the BMP-1s would be a good pushing force towards the opposing side of the sector. And Yogdog's sitting here with a bunch of these M60 command tanks, which we're going to have to try and start picking off, because you can see that this sector has now been counter-capped, which is neutralizing that +3 advantage that we had. So 2A3s of Protoss now pushing round. My Strela's still trying to do a runner. My Shilka, unfortunately, kind of left behind at this point. I've got the MI2 kind of scouting that out for the time being. And I've also got these 2 Alpha Troller squads coming up here just to kind of try and catch out any squads that go past. But here goes with our push. Flamethrower firing away at range. Look at that. Melting those Heimatschützen. And the BMP-1's also providing support from the heavy shrubs here. Tornado does come over with its cluster munition strike. Fortunately didn't hit too much. But I think one of my Motorschützen went down, but most of my vehicles not really affected by that. The cluster HE is not particularly effective against armor. So I have plenty of support left to continue the push. Motorschützen taking out aero rifles. We're going to be finding and killing the command that was counter-capping. And back to a +3 we go. So M1A1's going to be backing up. Able to get some good shots here onto the engineers. And also got an engagement close range with the M60. Unfortunately, my T50 105. Ended up missing that second shot. My Su-22 there does manage to get a cheeky shot onto the Leopard 105, but 2 Tornado F3s, they're going to be stopping me in my tracks, but they are beautiful aircraft, aren't they? Now +6, as we have counter-capped both of these sectors for the time being. I think what ended up happening actually was we destroyed both of the commands that were here or something, or maybe they moved out briefly with their command. Although both those M60s took a lot of damage anyway. But Fallschirmjäger is going to be stopping my Mod Schützen in their tracks, and my push has kind of come to a halt for the time being. But I have got these 2 Stellar 10Ms and the Schilke here to help out. Another M60 are going to be popped, and they're going to lose control of that sector. Now, one thing that was happening, you can see that Sturzke is bringing in a lot of these M1A1s. We've also got Protoss kind of already here with the Leopard 2A3s and the 1A1s. They're going to be finding my Strela 10M here. They already found my Schilke. I should have made a better job of, you know, actually getting them across the bridge and not just letting them get killed. But regardless, you know, not looking too hot on the right hand side, but again, doesn't matter that much. As long as I continue putting hard pressure into the mid, then we're going to be able to enjoy this +6 advantage. T80 BVK is currently counter-capping that on the left side of the sector. It's actually ended up going down. The T80 survives, so that's actually really big for us right now. Magulan doing a great job with his counter-capping here. The Pioneers and the SPW-70 with Bandana's infantry going to be helping push up on the right hand side here. And BMP-1 happily engaging the LRS there. We've got some artillery coming in, it's helping us out. Tornado F3 going after my Su-22. Well, I'm going to bring in multiple MiGs, and down it goes. I brought in 3 of these bad boys. The Tornado didn't stand a chance. There was 6 missiles just flying out its way very, very quickly indeed. The M4K just looking for the shots onto these M1A1s. Unfortunately, that missile did miss. Mi-2 does just about manage to get out of the way, but the Strela's now gone down there. Again, back to focusing on this center sector. The T-72s have been brought in, the GM1 variants. These GM1 variants are like the best ones that I've got my hands on. The East Germans, their tanks are a little lackluster, but at least the GM1 does have 18 penetration, so at close range you can trade okay with heavier tanks as long as you manage your engagements correctly. It's a bunch of Apaches coming over. It's 2 rocket Apaches, 2 standard Apaches. Check out this Aufklärer, it's ready to ambush the reinforcements coming down the road. Misses the first shot. Misses the second shot. Manages to pick off a Stinger with the 3rd shot there. Misses the 4th shot. Actually, I think it killed the mechanized rifle with that one. We managed to kill another one there. That was actually pretty good, like the Aufklärer. Taking out 3 units. Forces Sturzke to unload a lot of his stuff in that position. I'm just running away with the Aufklärer for the time being. Here come the Apaches. We've also just been counter-capped on this sector, so not ideal. My Strelas, I'm going to be trying to move them into line of sight to shoot down these Apaches. But at this range, the 30 mils can do a lot of damage, and one of my Strela 10Ms gets taken out very quickly. This one ends up running out of ammo. So I'm forced to bring up the Schilke instead, but pretty rough position. 2 MiGs are going to be coming in there. Also the MiG from Bandana comes in. This is one of the newer MiGs, the MiG-29, manages to somehow get away with that. Now my MiGs end up shooting down one of the rocket Apaches. I was also kind of looking for the actual Apache here. This one with the Hellfire missile isn't cheap. It's 265 points. Unfortunately, Bandana's MiG doesn't have much more luck than my one, so that's going to be surviving for the time being. Yeah, we've lost a lot of control here. Without the infantry to kind of support my T-72 as well, we're in a bit of a weird spot. Like, Bandana's infantry is all quite damaged. So I'm just trying to like keep my T-72s alive in case I need them to engage enemy armor. They're coming under quite a bit of fire. But Banana's HGM squad going to be start picking away some of the health of the M1A1. And of course I'm going to be bringing in some more infantry to support. So 3 of these Alpha Heavy, 2 of the Pioneer Flam, and the standard Pioneer squad. The Alpha Heavy super important here because they need to provide me with some recon. I was also hoping to get a good bombing strike in with the Su-22. I think I bombed some units on this bridge. Or tried to at least. But T-72 going to be moving forwards there, picking off the Abrams that was damaged by the HGM. So that was a good kill for us. And my Specialzafkladder are actually going to find the Iltis Führungs that is currently counter-capping. So we've got eyes on that. Just currently spraying it with machine gun fire. Going to be moving up a T-72 to try and take it out. Because unfortunately the machine guns just aren't very effective. I do kind of feel like sometimes light arms fire should be a bit more effective against units like that. They're just like a jeep. But in this case, the T-72 gets the job done. My infantry and so on has arrived, so I'm a bit more confident now using my T-72s to support this infantry engagement. And here, in this case, well, the Pioneers, they are like not very good against tanks, right? They don't have any AT, so perfectly fine if my T-72 wanted to move forwards there. But here we go, SPW-70 is getting into position to counter push with my T-72 GM1s. SPW-70 going to be unloading on that left-hand side, Specialzafkladder also engaging. Going to be unloading these ones early, send the Pioneers to engage the aero rifles directly. Then I'm going to be trying to keep the SPW-70s at range so they can provide fire without being range of the Law. The Law only has 705 meter range, so it's well out of range at the moment of these SPWs and allows me to get pretty much free damage on there. The T-72 is now pushing forwards, are going to be able to engage some of the reinforcements that Yogdog has brought in. We're still sitting at a +3 right now with this command contesting this left-hand sector, although that is starting to come under pressure from Protoss. On this side, Bandana trying to hold off the bridge with the T-55s, but there was a bunch of units trying to come across here, and you can see the F-111Es coming in with the cluster strikes. Not going to make things easy for Bandana. Both of those going down, including the supply there, but both of the F-111Es do go down. The Eagle, lucky to be alive. Mainly alive because of its 50% ECM, which is pretty big. Does end up going down eventually to the AA. Kind of runs out of luck. MiGs come in to basically try and take it down. So the attack's continuing. The Pioneers and the Specialzafkladder getting those aero rifles pretty damn low. Probably could have been a bit more aggressive with the T-72s, but I didn't want to take unnecessary damage on my best tanks. Again, for the purpose of being able to engage the enemy heavy armor should it be brought in. But I have brought in a Pioneer Führer, an extra leader that we're going to be able to use to move forwards and try and counter-cap the opposing sector in the mid. Currently things sat at 2,061 points to 18, so we've got a pretty steady lead here in this game. Now I just want to take the time to mention that it was really fun playing with these guys from the Eugen Systems team. You know, they do give the nice insights into how things work at the studio, and you know, it's great to see them actually be pretty decent at their own game. I remember when I played, I think it was still Division normally 44. At the time when the game came out, the devs weren't as good as I expected them to, but I think like this time around they genuinely impressed me with like how decent they were at the game. Like particularly like Magellan here. He's been or Magellan, I think that's how it's pronounced. He was under a lot of pressure from Protoss in the previous battle, but this time around he did really well, like counter-capping his opposing sector and our sector for a very long time. Bandana there coming in with the cluster munition does get rid of the Iltis that was trying to counter-cap, and I swear like Protoss was just throwing away those Iltis throughout this game. But I'm able to get my Pioneer Führer unloaded, and we're counter-capping our opposing sector. So Mordschützen, we're going to have to unload. I do unfortunately lose like half of my squad there unnecessarily because it didn't unload fast enough. And I'm going to get my Pioneer Führer to purposefully take out the LRS, which I don't think was firing because it had its weapons turned off or something, because it was recon. So yeah, use the Pioneer Führer, then I'm going to move in the opposite direction so it doesn't end up getting bombed or RT'd or something. But the Pioneer is doing a really good job here with his Spezialsabkolor of dealing with this infantry. And you see I've now seen a M1A1 here. I'm going to be able to, you know, use my T-72s if I want to. But currently Bandana trying to have a go with the T-55. Lovely kill there. Trades a T-55 flame tank for an M1A1. Good job. So more reinforcements on the way. On the right hand side, MiGs do end up shooting down the Apache that pushes across the bridge. But you can see how much was here, and now there's not much there. They've been continuously pushing on this right hand side with the units that they brought in. All of the Abrams and the Apaches and stuff. Storsk. Like initially I brought them in probably to help defend Anna, but since I stopped attacking there, I was just putting all my effort into attacking here instead. Moving the T-72s forwards to help the infantry engagements as well as support my Pioneer Führer. I'm going to have to pull back the Pioneer Führer for the meantime though, because it is coming under a lot of pressure from the aero rifles and the mechanized rifles. Unfortunately the T-72 did get bailed out, and they did manage to pop it before I got it fixed up, so yeah, that sucks. But more Mordschützen have arrived, and we're going to be able to engage all of this infantry once again and try and get my command back in there. The other nice thing about this kind of push right now is this command is not only, you know, trying to counter-cap, it's also providing veterancy when it stays close enough. But good kill by Bandana, taking out another Iltis Führungs. I'm just going to be pushing forwards. The BMP-1's going in, the BTR-50s going to be able to move up and provide machine gun fire. And trying to get the Pioneer Führer a bit closer there, but obviously don't want to run into the enemy artillery. Tornado does end up going down. Another good kill. And this artillery fire really helpful as well. From this left-hand side, the Ekataya hitting very well. Zoom in and get to see these engagements. Pushing through these buildings, it's really cool. So we're back in again. Pioneer Führer does get topped off with an extra man from the T-813 munition truck, and we're able to continue this push. I didn't really have much sort of close range AA, so going to be moving forwards to Strela 10M to help deal with these TOW Cobras that we ended up against. These TOW Cobras have the potential to do a lot of damage to the infantry because they do have the Hydra rockets. On the left side here you can see that the enemy has managed to counter-cap again. Turns out to just be a MUT CP. But Yogdog has got a mechanized rifles here, and he does find the Mordstrauki. It might have been cool if that was able to like run forwards there, but regardless, Bandana's got his cluster munition aircraft coming in again, and that's going to be able to clean that up. So it was a +3 for a little while. to the opposing team now, since they've managed to countercap this sector as well. But we're still quite comfortably in the lead in terms of points. Strela missing both of its remaining missiles, and then gets killed by the HGM as well from the TOW Cobra, so that didn't really end too well for me. Quite unlucky, honestly. Would have been nice if even one of those hit, so I could have maybe like stunned the TOW Cobra, but never mind. BMP-1 trying to help out with the engagement against these Jaegers and Heimatz. There's a lot of infantry here in terms of numbers. We've got to be quite careful. But my Mudschützen are sitting here with 3 vet, and they've also got the supply that's able to get them back to full strength pretty quickly if I need to. T-72 on the right hand side is also providing fire support into those Heimatz, so that's working well as well. Also getting these T-72s up now, and a couple extra Shulkers. But A-10 on its way, coming in with its 227 kilogram bombs straight into the fire of the Shulkers. Does get the bombs off though, which is pretty important. Fortunately for them though, it does kind of miss the mark. The Pioneer Fjord is still alive for the time being. The Mudschützen aren't dead just yet. If I can get these out of combat, I can actually fix them back all the way to full strength. The T-72, I think on the right hand side, kills a Chaparral. Check out this. Storch has managed to get an M1A1 all the way around behind us, because since we weren't really protecting this anymore, all of the units that were left on this right hand side have managed to move all the way around here. I did also manage to capture a UH-60A supply helicopter, so you can see I've moved that over to the right hand side here to provide some fixing onto my troops as well. I should have probably made sure to get those Mudschützen back, but check out what's happening here. The engineers have come across the bridge, and now I've got the Shilka just annihilating them. They don't have any way to kill this at range. Technically the engineers, if they managed to get a satchel charge on it at close range, could probably kill it, but that would require them being at 60 meters range. And so yeah, the engineers just getting cleaned up. It does use up a lot of my ammo though on those Shilkers. So Pioneer also going to be coming over to the left side now to help out, since these are more Pioneers with the hand Flampatron. Again, no AT that they can use against my Shilka. They don't even have the satchels in this case, so they can fire at close range. So yeah, absolutely mincing the infantry of Protoss. It's really important that when you take engagements like this, that you focus down individual units so that your opponent can't retreat them and fix them up again or get them fully resupplied. It's quite important. But I am starting to get overwhelmed here as the abundance of infantry starts to build up. Pioneer Fjord are going to have to do a runner again. My Shilkas, they were really kind of trying their best. Unfortunately, one of them does go down. This Shilka I'm just going to try and back up. Moving forward is the T-72 to potentially tank that instead of the Shilka. The Shilka is quite important here because it's really good at taking down enemy aircraft. We've managed to get up now to 2,595 points. So, we've built a big lead, but we definitely need to get this reinforced ASAP. T-72 is coming under fire now from an HGM and the rockets there. So, just going to smoke off the left-hand side, use the opportunity to get back. These buildings do provide cover, so able to just get back into cover over here. And with that push, I did end up losing 3 out of 4 of the T-72 GM1s. Not ideal, because now I have many less sort of units that are able to contest against heavy tanks. I managed to get a Pioneer all the way up here, and I was hoping my SBW-70 or something could discover the location of the enemy commander on the left-hand side, because it would have been really useful. But over here in the meantime, just dotting around the odd Aufklärer heavy, make sure that any extra units that came in were taken care of. SU-22 does get shot down by the Gepard there. Still got the Spezialsaftler all the way back up here. But more Mutschützen have arrived, with the BTR-50 PKs providing their MG fire. We're kind of able to take the cohesion down on these Jaegers. And really do quite a lot of damage. The Jaegers there like struggling to get into range to kill the BTR-50s. I was making sure to keep them back. There's more. Pioneer Führer's going to do a runner. Check out the amount of M1A1s that Storska brought in. There's like 5 of them here. Yeah, we were in trouble. Decided to bring in a couple of these SG-22s with the bombs. These are a little bit out of date now. Before, these HE bombs were a lot more effective against heavy armor. And in pairs, they can probably still kill a tank. But you're not able to like single shot a tank anymore. But here goes the crazy engagement against the M1A1s. I've got multiple T-72s come across this bridge. These are just the standard T-72s and like the standard T-72 GM as opposed to the GM1. I noticed that I'm not able to really do much damage here at range, so I decide to make a little play to get closer, and that's what this sort of attack move and move order will be. So I'm just trying to kind of sneak a bit of extra range towards these M1A1s so I can do more damage. Because the T-72s, they do have 18 penetration. So for 110 points against like a tank that's 235 points, if I can kill one for every 2 of my T-72s, that's great value. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I do manage to take out pretty much all of them there. Pioneer Führer managed to unload that just before the mechanized rifles got their HGM off, and these MI8s demolished that squad. So we're pushing back. We've still got a +3 because the command here has been taken care of for the time being. We've got a concentrated push of like the Mutschützen and the BTRs moving forwards with the T-72s. So we're kind of counter pushing against these Abrams over here, and I'm trying to keep this Pioneer Führer out of the way of this artillery that keeps coming in. And my 8's just going to be ripping into the mechanized rifles. Chaparrals trying their best to shoot that down. Do eventually manage to do so. 2A3, close range. Going to be able to take that down. Another Leopard 2A3 this time. T-72 goes down. Now here you can see me reverse the T-72. I'm letting the Mutschützen go first, so the Leopard fires at the Mutschützen. While it's reloading, I can move forwards, get the first shot with the T-72. That is the plan. But the Mutschützen actually ended up to do one better, and actually turret stuck the 283, ends up trying to fall back and gets clipped by the T-72s further up. So that was really nice. Also managed to pick off one of the Chaparrals there, and we managed to find the counter-capping command on the left, but there is another one now on the right. Managed to trade another M1A1 there for a T-72, and these trades are really the best you can kind of hope for with the East German armor. You're always going to have to trade in order to win. So here comes the T-55s to do more of the same. If I can get them in at close range, these can be really, really useful. But yeah, just check out how these sound. I love the sound effects in this game. And particularly when they start up. The startup sounds, they're actually like in there separately. So if a unit stops and then starts up again, it actually has like a startup sound. The Thunderbolt here, it was quite funny because I was kind of wondering initially why the T-72s could be spotted, but there is a recon helicopter literally flying above them, so the A-10 there manages to get one kill, doesn't get the other kill. I managed to find that other command vehicle, we managed to decap this, so now we're sitting at 2,787 points to their 459, with 4 minutes and 35 seconds left on the clock. Now we're running pretty thin at this point, but we've managed to kind of hold them off on this right hand side where they've been constantly trying to flank us, and we've been constantly pushing pressure into the center. But now Margolin is kind of suffering. The 39th Guards can only go so far. And up against Sturzki's 3rd Armoured, and also Protoss's 2nd Panzergren. A little bit outclassed in the team game. Yeah, T-55s are now arriving. I'm going to be trying to use them to make a concerted effort towards the enemy sector, if I can. You see I'm spreading out attack move orders. I decided in the end to just do a hold right click and spread, put them into a line formation so that I can then attack move them after the fact. Because sitting them all on top of each other here is just asking to be cluster munitioned. I've also decided to bring up a couple of T-55s on the left-hand side, but Sturzk has these M1A1HA Abrams plus an M1A1 command tank. My SU-22s really just fail with both of those missiles killing any of these heavy tanks. Managed to hit one there, take it down to 3 health. And this SU-22 going to be trying to land its 2nd shot as well, but we do unfortunately lose line of sight, so it's a little bit tough right now. T-55s are close enough to do 1 damage per shot probably. Here comes SU-22, and well, it missed again, so I think I missed like 3 out of 4. I'll bring in another one, it misses. And that one I just dealt to leave by accident. But yeah, not getting too lucky on those 50-50s. Only 1 out of 5 managed to hit the 50% hit chance, so yeah, that was rough. Anyway, BO, this is not ideal. It's a hot 1, and yeah, that's basically causing me issues. But Protoss here making a little bit of a mistake with the Iltis going to be able to pop that, and I also bring in the MiGs to shoot down that BO so that my T-55s can survive. My Panzerjäger does manage to find another contesting command vehicle, and I was just thinking to myself at this point, surely they are running out of command vehicles to countercap these sectors. Like, there's no way. It was nuts. Anyway, Tornado coming in with its cluster munitions is going to be able to kill one of my T-55s. The Leopard 2A3 really just chunking through the rest. I'm going to try and fast move them out the way to make sure that they don't get killed so easily. I did have a couple of Cubs here, but you see the Scorpions came in and they ended up killing them, which was kind of sad. I did end up bombing that Scorpion. Pioneer Fielder did get spotted, so in comes the artillery. Gonna have to keep doing dodgems. And the middle now of this map is really just falling apart. My T-55's got absolutely toasted. Ned's trying to get back across here to help on this left side of the island, but as you can see, there's only 1 minute remaining. We're 2,787 points to the 1,000 plus of the opposing team. At this point, pretty much sure that they're not going to be able to get enough points to win the game, so yeah, it was a very close one. If this game had gone on for another, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 minutes, it would have been a very good chance that we would have been just swept the whole way through, just running out of stuff that can contest all of this heavy armor. My SU-22 is just really trying their hardest to kill all of this heavy armor. Tornado managing to outturn it there with the SU-22. I'm going to be able to like evac that Tornado at the back. Could have probably brought in the MiG to try and shoot it down, to be honest, but I thought it would fly over at least some AA. Regardless, that is it, and that is the end of the second show match between the content creators and well, the mixed teams of content creators and Eugen Systems employees. What a game it was. Very close. Came down to the wire there. As I mentioned, another 5 minutes in that game, they would have easily caught up to us in points and potentially overtaken us. But in the end, for me, 11,483 kills to 9,375 losses, having to trade my way to victory there. Mogolan, he did really well early on, but I think ended up getting overwhelmed by the armor of both the 2nd Panzergren and the 3rd at the end there pretty badly. Like, Protoss did incredible in this game. 14,086 kills to 8,555 losses. Just crazy stuff. The one thing that was nuts though was just the amount of command vehicles that we killed. It was crazy. But yeah, at the end they got a lot of kills. And that's why you can see that the kills and losses are so close. Generally, apart from obviously Protoss there with an extra 5,000 kills more than losses. And my SU-22s kind of letting me down in this one. It would have been nice if they hit a bit more, but is what it is. My dice rolls are not very good when I'm playing these sorts of games. The 50-50s just almost never fall in my favour. But MiG-21 there, doing a good job of shooting down plenty of Apaches. The Shilka took care of the Cobras for us. That Aufklärer Heavy getting a bunch of these Chaparrals. I think the Chaparrals were potentially trying to like sneak around the backside, and they ended up getting taken out by the Aufklärer Heavy with the AT weapon there. But yeah, Shilka's doing all right. T-72s, you know, the main thing here is if they're trading. In this case, we managed to trade and get the M48A Chaparrals, so that was really big. But yeah, Iltis Mut CP. There's just so many like commands. Another Iltis, another M60, another Mut CP. There were so many Chiefs. I didn't even know how they had more. If we went into like the chronology here, you'd be able to see that there was so many that our team killed throughout. Particularly with like Bandana, kept coming in with this cluster SU-22 and killing them as well. Yeah, great fun. Really good game. And again, massive thank you to the Eugen employees for getting involved with this. If you want to see the reactions live, just a reminder, you can go to Protoss's Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/scleague. You go to Yogdogs, which is twitch.tv/Yogdog, or Bandanas, which is twitch.tv/Bandana, I think. Also, like Yogdog and Bandana, Protoss with their like YouTube channels, make sure to check them out as well. But yeah, the live gameplay of this is on their Twitch channel VODs. I think Bandana might be uploading it as well, so it'll be there. But yeah, overall, you know, fantastic stuff. Just a reminder again, this was for Action Against Hunger, so if you'd like to donate, I'll also make sure to leave the links to those, to that in the description, and I'll also make sure to make a comment as well, so you guys can see that. Yeah, so if you have any spare cash, make sure to put some pennies in. That is it for now. Massive thanks again for Protoss for organising all of the events this weekend. A fantastic job to him organising it, and we've managed to raise so much money. It's kind of crazy. So a thank you to all of you who have donated as well. We really appreciate it, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.